Hello, this is Hiroshi Yamazoe. This time I will share with you my strategy for heal from trauma. But first, let me tell you that I am not an expert in anything. I have not studied psychology at all, but just as a human being, I will share what I have found to be effective in healing trauma through my various attempts over the past about 15 years. As I have said in other videos, I have been traumatized by bullying that I experienced in my childhood. Around the age of 10, I suddenly began to be attacked violently by several people in elementary school, and I have no idea what the reasons of it. The bullying gradually escalated, and even people I thought were my friends joined the bullying side, and there was no one left on my side. And the violence became intense that my body was covered with bruises. The bullying was so persistent that I was subjected to it almost every day for about 4 months. Then, when I refused to go to school and became a hikikomori, I was violently attacked by my parents as well, which was also my traumatic experience. After these experiences, I developed a severe interpersonal phobia and became almost unable to speak to people and basically could only express yes or no by nodding my head or shaking my head, and I became a severe hikikomori until I was about 23 years old. But then, through a long period of time, I have gradually recovered from that phase, and now I am able to talk to people without much fear. I have recovered a lot from that trauma. So, what has caused me to recover from that trauma? I reflected on my past to think about it. First of all, I will start with my conclusion. My recovery from trauma was caused by accumulating non-bullying experiences as I interacted with people, and the importance of my past experiences of being bullied decreased. I will explain this in more detail. First of all, during my elementary school years, I lived in a limited relationship with people at school and in a small community. I did not have much experience interacting with other people, and in those limited human relationships, I was the target of bullying and with no one on my side. At that time, I had very limited social experience, and that experience was overwhelming. I have no idea why, but suddenly I was the target of bullying, losing all my friends and being so hated that I was subjected to intense violence on a daily basis. It was the result of my first human relationships that I had built up since my childhood. So the whole society for me at that time was destroyed, and as I said before, as I became hikikomori, my parents also hated me intensely and subjected me to violence as well. So this led me to have an experience that ended badly with people in society and with my family, with all my relationships at that time. This became my entire social experience with people, and this became the foundation of my perception toward others, and I developed a perception of myself as a person who will always be bullied and hated by others for no reason. In short, because of my lack of human interaction experience and human relationships, a single bad consequence became overwhelmingly important to me. Thus, I began to avoid people as much as I could, thinking that I would always be the target of that terrible bullying whenever I interacted with others. Thus, I became an interpersonal phobic. As I said in my other videos, I was thinking of trying suicide while I was a hikikomori. But no matter how many times I attempted it, I was too scared to die. So I began to be brave to reintegrate into society after 23 years old. Since then, I have got a job, living on my own, having traveling abroad, and experiencing many different human relationships. As these experiences accumulated, the importance of past bullying experiences relatively decreased. This can be easily illustrated on the graph as shown here. The graph shows the ratio of traumatic experiences and other experiences in my total social experiences. And red represents traumatic experiences and blue represents other experiences. As I said at the beginning, all the relationships I had built up since my childhood were destroyed by becoming the target of bullies, so my social experiences during the period when I was a severe hikikomori were 100% traumatic experience. But then I reintegrated into society, became independent, began traveling abroad, and gradually accumulated a variety of social experiences. Through these experiences, I came to realize that I am not always 100% hated and bullied by others. This reduced the percentage of traumatic experience in my total social experience. Among my interpersonal experiences, traveling abroad and interacting with many foreign people helped me recover from my trauma a lot. I am isolated in my private life in Japan, and when I was on that job, I only talked to people regarding my job, so I am not really myself at a job. I am just role-playing some kind of role at the job. Therefore, it was not a real experience of interacting with people. However, when I interacted with people from other countries, I was able to act freely with my true self, and in these human relationships abroad, I was able to accumulate human relationship experiences that did not cause damage to me, and this helped me to reduce the percentage of trauma in my total of human relationships experiences. Thus, by accumulating many experiences other than the bad experiences in interpersonal relationships, the perception was modified to a reasonable level, and the significance of the traumatic experience was relatively reduced. But I think the important thing is that I don't think it is possible or necessary to completely eliminate 100% of the trauma and interpersonal phobia. This is because when we interact with people, we need a certain amount of nervousness, and we are not always promised that we will not be hurt. Because there are many different types of people in this world, and there will continue to be times when we are hurt in our interpersonal relationships. So there is always the possibility of experiencing bad human relationships, but in the entire social experience we have in lifetime, such bad experiences are only a part of it. And it was important for me to realize that, because that is what helped me to healing my trauma. I put this another way, like by having a larger sample number, I was able to formulate more accurate statistics and a more accurate perception of the world. So this is a strategy that I have found to be effective in healing that trauma. Thus, by increasing the number of experiences that are not very bad experiences in similar situations to the traumatic experience. The importance of the traumatic experience can be relatively reduced. I think this is a method that could be applied to people who are seeking to heal from some trauma. And by the way, the reason why I have been able to relate to foreign people abroad while I have been isolated in Japan is that interacting with Japanese people brings back traumatic experiences from my past. This is because during my childhood, the bullies, teachers, parents, and other adults around me were all Japanese. But in the case of the people in faraway countries with different cultures did not remind me of such trauma because of the differences. So I found it very easy to relate to people in other countries. So at first I was working to build relationships with foreign people and reduce the trauma that causes interpersonal phobia, and now I am going out to various places to try to restore human relationships even with Japanese people in order to break my isolation situation in Japan as well. In short, by building human relationships outside of my home country first, I was able to decrease my interpersonal phobia, and then I was able to begin activities to restore human relationships within my country as well. This is a very unusual strategy to get out of isolation situation, but in the case of it might be helpful to someone. I mentioned this as an additional strategy for the strategy for healing trauma. So this time I talked about my strategy to heal from trauma. Thank you for watching. I will continue to post various videos. If you are interested, please subscribe to my channel. Stay healthy and take care. See you in the next video.